Princess Alina of Earth had never imagined the galaxy would feel so cold. She stood at the edge of the vast hall in the royal court of Virelia, her hands clasped tightly in front of her. The walls were made of crystal that shimmered with light, reflecting colors she had never seen on Earth. Floating banners displayed symbols of alien families from hundreds of worlds, each representing a noble line far older and more powerful than anything human history had ever known. Alina's heart beat fast, not from excitement, but from fear. She had come to the court to secure a political alliance, to unite Earth with the grand interstellar nobility. But with each step she took, she felt the eyes of the aliens on her. Some stared curiously, others sneered, and the more she looked around, the smaller she felt. She was only 16, and humans were young newcomers in the galaxy. Other species had existed for thousands of years in these interstellar courts. Their nobility was proud and refined, their movements elegant, their appearances extraordinary. Alina, with her pale skin, brown hair, and plain human features, felt almost invisible among them. The first noble to approach her was Lord Trevik of the planet Zorath. His skin glowed faintly green, and his eyes seemed to shine like molten gold. "You are human," he said in a tone that was polite but distant. "Your kind is fragile." Alina tried to smile. "Yes, but we are adaptable," she said. "We learn quickly and can face challenges that others might not." Trevik's lips curved into a thin smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Fragile is not a word I would associate with nobility. Perhaps another will see value in your novelty." And just like that, he walked away, leaving Alina feeling even smaller than before. One by one, other nobles approached. Lady Zira, whose skin shimmered like liquid silver, shook her head and said, "Humans have no history of power among the stars. We are not impressed by your primitive customs." Prince Vahor, tall and muscular with skin that glowed like fire, laughed softly. "I cannot imagine sharing a lineage with one so ordinary. Your species is too simple for the grandeur of our courts." Alina's stomach tightened. Each rejection was like a small cut, sharp and biting. She had expected skepticism, perhaps even some challenge, but not this level of dismissiveness. She tried to hold her head high, but inside her confidence was crumbling. She wandered to a balcony overlooking the sprawling city of Virelia. The air shimmered with light from floating vehicles, and distant towers reached higher than anything on Earth. From this height, she could see nobles moving like insects through the gardens below, each one a symbol of alien elegance and strength. She felt small, unworthy, almost invisible. Her thoughts were interrupted by the gentle sound of someone approaching. She turned to see her advisor, Master Rylan, a wise elder from Earth who had accompanied her on this journey. His eyes were kind, but his expression was grave. "They will judge you harshly," he said quietly. "But remember, Princess, not all value is measured by strength or appearance." Alina sighed. "It is easy to say that, Master Rylan, but I have never felt so alone. Every noble I meet seems to see nothing but my human flaws." Rylan placed a hand on her shoulder. "And yet they have not seen your courage, your intelligence, your heart. They judge only by what they know, their own history, their own pride. That is their weakness, not yours." Alina nodded, though she wasn't sure it made her feel any better. She returned to the hall, determined to face the next noble, though her confidence was shaken. Hours passed. The court was a swirl of color, sound, and alien presence. Nobles approached, examined her, whispered among themselves, and then moved on. Some ignored her completely. Others were cruel in subtle ways, their words dripping with condescension. By the time the sun of Virelia set, casting the hall in shades of violet and gold, Alina had been rejected by every alien noble she had met. Her hands trembled slightly as she held the ceremonial cup of water in her hand. She felt dizzy from the constant judgment, from the relentless reminders of her smallness. She thought of Earth, of the blue oceans and green forests she loved. Humans were young, yes, but they were survivors. They had faced impossible odds and had built a world filled with creativity, courage, and hope. And yet here among the stars it seemed that no one cared about those strengths. As she wandered to a quiet corner of the hall, she noticed whispers spreading through the nobles. Heads turned, eyes widening, and murmurs filled the space. Alina's curiosity was piqued, even though her heart sank at the thought of more judgment. A human. Here? Never. She watched as a young man entered the hall. He moved with confidence, though not the kind she had seen in the alien nobles. There was no shimmering aura, no glowing skin, no towering presence. He looked human, plain, ordinary, yet his gaze was steady and calm. Alina's heart skipped. Who was he? The young man approached the center of the hall where the Council of Nobles sat. He bowed deeply, not to the princess but to the council itself. "Honored nobles of Virelia," he said in a voice clear and steady. "I am Kale of Earth. I have come not as a prince, not as a noble, but as a human willing to step forward. I wish to be considered among you, to prove that humanity has value in this court." There was silence. Nobles whispered to each other, shaking their heads in disbelief. A human had never attempted this. Many considered humans weak, insignificant, and unworthy of the title of nobility. Yet here he was, standing tall, unafraid, and speaking directly to them. Alina's eyes widened. Something in her chest lifted slightly. A flicker of hope, a spark she had not felt since arriving. Here was someone like her, human, standing proudly among giants, refusing to shrink before judgment. One of the elder nobles, a being whose skin shimmered like glass and whose eyes reflected distant stars, leaned forward. "This is unprecedented," he said softly. "No human has ever dared to step forward." "What do you seek, Kale?" "To show that humans are not weak," Kale replied. "We are resilient, clever, and capable of courage. We may be young in the galaxy, but we have qualities no other species possesses. I ask only for the chance to prove myself." Alina felt a warmth spread through her. His words were not loud, not dramatic, but they carried weight. They carried truth. She realized that perhaps it was not humans who were weak. It was the perception of others that had always held them back. The court was restless. Some nobles scoffed, some whispered, and a few looked thoughtful. Kyle's calm defiance had shaken the very foundation of centuries of prejudice. Alina stepped forward, her hands still trembling, but her voice steady. I am Princess Alina of Earth," she said, "and I know what it feels like to be underestimated, to be seen as weak. Perhaps this young human can show what we have never been allowed to show, to reveal the true strength of humanity." The murmurs grew louder. She met Kale's eyes, and he gave her a small, respectful nod. There was no arrogance in him, no false confidence, only courage. Master Reelan, standing nearby, smiled softly. "Perhaps, Princess, the story is about to change," he whispered. Alina felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The path ahead would not be easy. The Council of Nobles would not accept a human without trials, without proof. Yet for the first time she felt that maybe, just maybe, humans could have a place in this vast, glittering galaxy. As the hall settled into a tense silence, Alina realized something important. The journey was no longer hers alone. Kale had stepped forward, and with him he carried the hope of an entire species. And perhaps together they could change the way the galaxy saw humanity forever. The council elder finally spoke, his voice deep and echoing in the hall. "Very well. Let the trials begin. Let this human show what we have never seen before." Alina's heart soared. She took a deep breath, her eyes shining with determination. The court of Virelia had been cruel and dismissive, but the future was no longer written by their prejudice. Humanity had a chance, and she would stand beside Kale, witnessing history unfold as the alien nobles whispered among themselves. Some skeptical, some curious, Alina knew one thing clearly. This was only the beginning. The stars themselves seemed to lean closer, watching the first human step forward with courage and hope. And for the first time since she had arrived, Princess Alina felt that perhaps rejection was not the end, but the start of something extraordinary. The hall of the Virelia royal court buzzed with a mixture of curiosity and disbelief. For centuries, humans had been outsiders, considered fragile and ordinary by alien standards. Yet here stood Kale, a young human who had boldly asked to be considered among the most prestigious nobles in the galaxy. The whispers of the court echoed like soft waves against crystal walls, each noble questioning whether this human could truly measure up. Princess Alina watched him closely. There was a calm confidence in Kale that she had never seen before, not even among the most polished alien nobles. He did not possess glowing skin like the Xerans or the towering form of the Vahorians, yet he radiated something else, a quiet strength, a determination that could not be measured by appearance alone. Kale turned toward the Council of Elders, bowing with respect, but not submission. "Honored Council," he said, his voice steady. I understand your doubts. I am not a noble by birth. I am human, and humans are young in this galaxy. But I ask for a chance, not for titles, not for glory, but to show that humans can contribute in ways others may not expect. The council elder, a tall being with skin that reflected light like polished stone, leaned forward. You speak boldly, Kale of Earth, he said. Boldness is not enough to gain a place among our nobility. You will face trials. Only by proving your abilities will you be considered. Kale nodded. I accept any trial you set before me. The murmurs of the court grew louder. Some nobles laughed quietly, certain he would fail. Others watched with intrigue, curious to see if a human could indeed stand among them. Princess Alina felt her pulse quicken. She had faced rejection herself over and over again, and yet Kale seemed undeterred. Something about his courage inspired her. Perhaps humans were not as weak as the aliens believed. Master Rylan, standing behind her, whispered, Remember, Princess, the Council will test not just strength, but mind, heart, and character. If Kale succeeds, it could change everything for humanity. Alina nodded silently, watching Kale as he was led to the first trial. The first challenge was set in the zero-gravity arena, a vast dome where participants had to retrieve floating crystals while navigating shifting obstacles. Alien nobles with natural agility and enhanced reflexes often excelled in this environment. Kyle stepped into the arena with careful determination. The moment the doors closed behind him, the crystals began to drift, spinning and tumbling through the zero-gravity space. Kale took a deep breath and leapt after the nearest crystal. His movements were not elegant, but he quickly adapted, using his hands and feet to push off surfaces and redirect himself. Several nobles snickered as they watched him stumble at first, but Kale's persistence was remarkable. Each time he nearly missed a crystal, he paused, analyzed the movement, and tried again. Slowly, he began to gather the crystals more efficiently. By the end of the trial, Kale had retrieved all the crystals, not with the natural grace of the alien nobles, but with ingenuity and clever use of the arena's walls and handholds. The court erupted in murmurs. Some nobles were impressed, others skeptical, but no one could deny that the human had accomplished the task. Princess Alina felt a spark of pride. He is clever, she whispered. Clever in ways they cannot even imagine. The second trial tested mental acuity and negotiation skills. Participants were placed in a simulation where they had to negotiate peace between two alien factions on a distant planet. The factions were stubborn, proud, and skilled in manipulation. Many nobles relied on intimidation or their natural powers to influence the factions, but Kyle approached the problem differently. He listened carefully, observing their needs, fears, and desires. He spoke calmly, offering solutions that respected both sides while finding common ground. Slowly, the factions began to trust him. By the end of the trial, the simulation declared a successful resolution. The council whispered among themselves, acknowledging that Kale's human approach, patience, empathy, and logic, was effective where brute strength or alien power had failed. Princess Alina's admiration grew. He sees what they cannot, she said softly. He understands that power alone is not enough. The third trial was the most unexpected. Participants were sent to an alien laboratory filled with complex machines and devices from a species that relied entirely on telepathy. The challenge was to repair a malfunctioning device without the aid of telepathy. Many nobles struggled, their minds unused to the limitations of physical tools. Kyle, however, approached the task methodically. He examined the device, noted the patterns of the broken circuits, and experimented carefully. He failed several times, but each failure taught him something new. Slowly, he adjusted the components and repaired the device, causing the machine to hum to life. The council was silent for a moment, then nodded. Kyle had succeeded again, not because of natural ability, but because of intelligence, observation, and determination, qualities humans often overlooked in themselves. Princess Alina's eyes glimmered with hope. He is showing them the truth, she said. Humans are capable of more than they believe. The next trial combined physical endurance with teamwork. Participants were paired with alien nobles to complete a series of challenges across multiple terrains: rocky cliffs, turbulent waters, and treacherous forests. Kale was paired with a noble named Tharion, a large muscular being who initially looked down on him. "You are weak," Tharion said bluntly as they began the course. "You will slow me down." Kale did not respond with anger. Instead, he said calmly, "Perhaps, but I can help you in ways you might not expect." As they faced each obstacle, Kale's ingenuity shone. He built makeshift bridges, devised pulley systems, and encouraged Tharion to approach problems differently. Slowly, Tharion began to respect him. By the end of the course, they had completed it faster than most pairs, proving that human creativity and collaboration could overcome raw strength alone. Princess Alina felt her heart swell. She had never seen a human shine like this among the aliens. It was not just his intelligence or courage, it was his character, his willingness to adapt, to learn, to help others succeed. The final trial of the day was announced with great fanfare. Participants were to demonstrate leadership and decision-making under pressure. A simulated crisis was created on a distant space station. A power failure threatened the lives of thousands of aliens. Nobles were expected to lead rescue teams, make quick decisions, and protect as many lives as possible. Kyle stepped forward calmly, studying the situation. Unlike many nobles who tried to act alone, he organized the rescue teams, assigning tasks based on each member's strengths. He communicated clearly, encouraged his team, and remained composed even when danger seemed imminent. By the end of the simulation, Kale had saved the maximum number of lives and restored order to the station. The council was impressed. Many nobles had failed to think beyond themselves, relying on power or status rather than strategy and cooperation. Kale's human qualities, resilience, adaptability, empathy, had led him to success. As the trials concluded, the court erupted in discussion. Some nobles could not hide their shock, while others were quietly impressed. A few even began to whisper about the possibility that humans might indeed deserve a place among the galaxy's nobility. Princess Alina approached Kale as he stepped out of the arena, his face calm but his eyes bright with quiet determination. You did it," she said softly. "You have shown them what humans can do." Kyle smiled humbly. "I only did what humans have always done, Princess. We face challenges. We learn. We adapt. We survive. That is our strength." Alina nodded, feeling a new sense of pride and hope. For so long, humans had been underestimated, rejected, and ignored. But now, standing beside Kale, she realized that this was the moment everything could change. Master Rylan approached, his expression filled with quiet approval. "Princess, you see it now, don't you? Humans are not weak. They have courage, intelligence, and compassion in ways others cannot even measure. Kyle has shown the Council what Earth has to offer." Alina smiled, determination lighting her eyes. "Yes, Master Rylan. And I will stand with him. We will show the galaxy that humanity has a place among the stars." That night, as the court settled into quiet, Alina gazed out at the glowing towers of Virelia. She thought of the trials, of Kyle's calm bravery, and of the whispers that had spread through the nobles. The future was uncertain, and the Council's final decision had yet to be made. But for the first time, she felt that hope was possible. A human had stepped forward. A human had proven worth. And for the first time, Princess Alina believed that humanity's place in the galaxy might not be defined by fear or doubt, but by courage, intelligence, and the strength of the heart. The next day would bring new challenges, new tests, and perhaps new enemies. But together, Alina and Kale were ready to face whatever came, knowing that their determination could change the galaxy forever. And somewhere in the Grand Hall, the Council of Alien Nobles whispered, some in disbelief, some in admiration, but all aware that the rules had begun to shift. The first human had made their mark, and the galaxy would never be the same. The morning sun of Virelia spilled golden light across the crystal spires of the royal court. Princess Alina stood at the balcony, gazing down at the bustling courtyard where Kyle was already preparing for the next series of trials. The previous day had shown the council and the court that humans could excel in ways no one had expected. Yet Alina knew the true test was only beginning. The council had announced that the next trials would test not only intelligence and creativity, but courage, endurance, and the ability to face danger. Aliens from all corners of the galaxy would watch closely, some eager to see Kale fail, others curious to witness something they had never imagined, a human proving worth among the galaxy's elite. Kale's first trial that morning was set in the maze of mind shadows, a labyrinth created from psychic energy. Only those who could navigate both physical and mental obstacles would succeed. The walls shifted constantly, illusions of fear and doubt appearing at every turn. Alien nobles with natural psychic abilities often found these trials easy, as they could sense the safest path through the illusions. Kale stepped into the maze, his heart steady but his mind alert. He did not have psychic powers, but he had something the others sometimes lacked: patience, observation, and the ability to think clearly under pressure. Each time the walls shifted, Kyle paused, took a deep breath, and analyzed the patterns. He noticed subtle movements in the energy that guided him forward. At one point, he encountered a vision of failure, a shadowed version of himself, shaking and afraid. Many nobles would have panicked or fled, but Kale confronted it. "I am not my fear," he whispered. "I learn, I adapt, I move forward." With that, the illusion dissolved, and the path ahead became clear. Meanwhile, Princess Alina watched from above, her heart pounding with every step. He is so calm, she thought, so focused. He is showing them what humans can do even without special powers. Kyle emerged from the maze hours later, exhausted but triumphant. The council nodded in approval. He had succeeded where many gifted aliens had struggled. His approach, observation, logic, and courage was distinctly human, and it was undeniable. The second trial took place in the Forest of Echoes, a planet-wide woodland known for its dangerous wildlife and unstable terrain. Participants had to retrieve a rare crystal guarded by creatures that could mimic the appearance and voice of anyone who entered. It was a test of bravery, perception, and decision-making under pressure. Kale entered the forest carefully, scanning every shadow and listening intently to the sounds around him. Soon one of the creatures appeared, taking the form of a towering alien noble. "Turn back, human," it said in a voice he recognized from the court. "You will fail." Kale's heart did not race. Instead, he spoke firmly. "I will not fail. I face what is real, not what is meant to scare me." He continued forward, relying on careful observation rather than fear. The creature attempted to deceive him multiple times, but Kale noticed small inconsistencies. The way it moved, the weight of its steps, the unnatural tone of its voice. One by one, he avoided the traps and reached the crystal, holding it aloft as he emerged from the forest. The council was quietly impressed. Many had relied on strength or intimidation in such trials, but Kale's success came from careful thought and unwavering determination. Princess Alina felt a surge of hope and pride. "This is what humans do best," she whispered. "We face the impossible and find a way through." The third trial was perhaps the most challenging, a negotiation challenge with a species known as the Fexari, whose culture valued deception, cunning, and rapid adaptation. Participants were tasked with resolving a dispute over territory that had lasted for decades. Alien nobles often attempted to overpower the Fexari with intimidation or by leveraging status. Kale, however, approached the situation differently. He listened carefully, asking questions, seeking understanding. "What do you truly need?" he asked the Fexari leaders. "What do you fear losing?" His calm and sincere approach confused the Fexari at first, but gradually they began to share their concerns openly. Kale proposed a solution that respected both sides and offered a compromise that had never been suggested. Slowly, the dispute began to resolve, the council's monitors indicating unprecedented progress. Princess Alina could hardly contain her admiration. "He is changing their minds not with force but with thoughtfulness. That is so human, so clever." The fourth trial combined mental and physical endurance. Participants were sent to the cliffs of Cern, a jagged mountain range with strong winds, steep cliffs, and narrow paths. The task was to retrieve 3 sacred stones from precarious ledges and return them safely. Many alien nobles attempted to use their natural abilities to leap or fly between cliffs, but the winds made even their powers unreliable. Kale climbed steadily, using handholds, ropes, and careful strategy. He fell several times but always got back up, refusing to give in to fear or frustration. On the highest ledge, he faced a particularly narrow path where the wind threatened to knock him off. He took a deep breath, focused, and crossed it with careful, deliberate steps. Holding the stones, he descended the cliff safely, completing the trial. Therion, the alien noble he had partnered with earlier, watched from below, impressed despite himself. "That human, he is more persistent than anyone I have known," he muttered. By now, whispers of admiration and disbelief filled the court. The human was proving that courage, intelligence, and endurance could rival natural abilities. He had no glowing skin, no psychic powers, no superior strength, yet he had succeeded in every trial set before him. The final trial of the day was announced, a test of leadership. Participants would lead teams in a simulation of a volatile space mission, where a starship had been damaged near a dangerous asteroid belt. They would need to rescue the crew, secure valuable cargo, and return to safety, all while managing limited resources and unpredictable hazards. Many nobles tried to dominate the simulation, giving orders without listening, acting out of pride rather than strategy. Kale approached the simulation calmly. He organized his team, listening to their strengths and weaknesses. He assigned tasks carefully, encouraged communication, and adapted to unexpected challenges. When one of the team members panicked, Kale stayed calm and guided them gently, restoring focus. Through strategy, cooperation, and clear thinking, Kale completed the mission successfully, saving every crew member and securing the cargo. Princess Alina's eyes glowed with admiration. He is leading them not by power but by understanding. That is exactly the kind of leader humans can be. The Council of Elders conferred quietly, nodding among themselves. Kale had not only succeeded in physical, mental, and strategic trials, but he had done so while demonstrating qualities that no alien noble could match perfectly: courage, empathy, intelligence, and integrity. He had proven the value of humans in ways that were impossible to ignore. As Kale stepped out of the final trial, Princess Alina approached him, her heart swelling with pride. "You have done what no human has ever done," she said softly. "You have shown them what we are capable of." Kyle smiled humbly. "I only did what humans have always done, Princess. We face challenges, we think, we learn, and we never give up. That is our strength." Master Rylan, standing behind Alina, nodded. "You see it now, Princess. Humans are not weak or ordinary. They are resilient, creative, and courageous. Kyle has shown the Council the truth that they could not see before." Alina's heart raced. For the first time, she truly believed it. Humans had always been underestimated, dismissed as simple or fragile. But Kale had proven that courage, intelligence, and integrity were worth more than any natural power or noble lineage. The Council Elder finally addressed the court. "Kale of Earth," he said solemnly, "you have completed the trials with distinction. You have demonstrated qualities that are rare among the galaxy's nobility: courage, intelligence, and compassion. You have earned the respect of this council and the court." The hall erupted in murmurs, some incredulous, some impressed. Many nobles still struggled to accept a human as a worthy peer, but the evidence was undeniable. Kale had succeeded where many aliens had failed, using qualities that only humans seemed to possess naturally. Princess Alina stepped forward, her voice clear and confident. "I have seen it too," she said. "Kyle has shown us that humans have value in this galaxy, not because of strength, wealth, or status, but because of courage, intelligence, and heart. I stand with him, and I believe humanity can rise to greatness among the stars." Kale glanced at her, gratitude in his eyes. "Together we will show them," he said quietly. As the court settled, whispers continued to spread. The first human had taken bold steps and proven that prejudice and doubt could be overcome with courage, creativity, and integrity. Alien nobles who had mocked humans now had to reconsider their assumptions. Princess Alina looked at Kale, feeling a surge of hope. This is only the beginning, she thought. If humans can survive these trials, what else might we achieve? Kale, standing tall despite exhaustion, knew the truth of her thoughts. The journey ahead would be difficult. There would be more trials, more skeptics, and challenges that might test them in ways they had never imagined. But together they had proven something extraordinary. Humans were capable of greatness even in a galaxy that had doubted them for centuries. And so with the sun setting the council chamber had cleared for the day, leaving only the participants and the observers who would watch the most dangerous trial yet. The final challenge would take Kale and Princess Alina far from the safety of Virelia, into the heart of a treacherous asteroid belt known as the Shattered Expanse. Here massive rocks floated unpredictably, and hidden gravitational currents could send even the strongest ship spiraling into destruction. Alina stood at the observation deck of their spacecraft, feeling both excitement and fear. She had faced rejection, humiliation, and the doubts of countless nobles. Kale had shown brilliance, courage, and ingenuity in every trial, but this test would push them to the edge. One mistake here could mean failure, or worse. Kale checked the navigation systems of their ship. His hands moved quickly, setting coordinates and stabilizing the thrusters. He turned to Alina, his expression calm, though his eyes reflected the seriousness of the challenge ahead. "This is going to be difficult," he said. "The belt is unpredictable, but if we work together, we can succeed." Alina nodded. "I trust you, Kale. Let's show them what humans can do." The ship plunged into the Shattered Expanse. Massive asteroids loomed ahead, some larger than small moons drifting unpredictably. The sensors beeped warnings constantly, and even the most experienced alien pilots would need skill and quick thinking to navigate the maze. Kyle gripped the controls, his focus absolute. He adjusted their trajectory, weaving through gaps that seemed impossible. Alina kept a sharp eye on the instruments, monitoring gravitational anomalies and predicting the movements of the largest rocks. Their teamwork was seamless, his intuition and her observation complementing each other perfectly. Suddenly, a massive asteroid shifted directly in their path. The ship's alarms screamed as they hurtled toward it. Kale twisted the controls sharply, firing thrusters to adjust their course. Alina called out warnings, timing each adjustment perfectly. The ship passed within meters of the rock's jagged surface, a narrow escape that left both of them breathless. From the observation deck back on Virelia, the council and court watched in silence. Some nobles had already dismissed humans as too fragile to face such a challenge, but now even the skeptics leaned forward, their eyes wide. Kale guided the ship to a series of smaller asteroids where the rare Luminara crystals were hidden. These crystals were required for the trial, valuable, fragile, and embedded in unstable rock. Retrieving them would demand precision, courage, and patience. Alina prepared the extraction tools, watching Kyle's every move. "I'll lower the stabilizers here," she said. "You take the lead on retrieval." Kyle nodded. Using a combination of magnetic tethers and delicate robotic arms, he retrieved the first crystal, securing it safely in the storage chamber. A small cheer escaped Alina's lips. Even here, amidst danger, Kale's ingenuity shone. The second crystal proved more difficult. It was lodged in a narrow crevice between two asteroids, with debris floating dangerously close. Kyle studied the formation carefully. "We'll need to move slowly," he said. "One wrong push and it could be lost." Step by step, he navigated the tools, adjusting for the gravitational pull and the drifting debris. Sweat glistened on his brow, but his focus never wavered. With a careful maneuver, the crystal was freed and secured. Alina's heart raced. "You're amazing," she said quietly. "I've never seen anyone so precise under pressure." Kale smiled briefly but kept his attention on the final crystal, which lay in the most dangerous location of all, a small asteroid spinning rapidly in a narrow gravitational corridor. Any miscalculation could send them tumbling into space. "This one will be tricky," Kale said. "But we can do it together." Alina nodded, providing guidance as Kyle aligned the ship. He timed each movement with precision, weaving through the corridor with skill that left even the alien observers astonished. At the last moment, Kale extended the robotic arm, securing the crystal just as a sudden shift in gravity threatened to push them off course. The ship shuddered violently, alarms blaring, but Kale's steady hands and Alina's clear instructions brought them back to stability. The final crystal was safe. The council murmured among themselves. Few had expected a human to succeed in a trial that had defeated some of the galaxy's most experienced nobles. Kale's success was not just luck. It was skill, intelligence, and courage combined in a way that no alien could replicate. But the trial was not over. As they began their return to Virelia, a sudden meteor storm erupted in the belt. Massive rocks collided and fragmented, sending debris toward the ship at incredible speed. Kale's hands moved quickly, adjusting thrusters and navigation paths while Alina calculated the safest routes around the debris. "Hold on," Kale shouted as a fragment slammed near the ship. The hull shook and the lights flickered. Alina braced herself, heart pounding, but she trusted Kale completely. Together they maneuvered through the chaos using every ounce of skill and knowledge they possessed. One particularly large asteroid hurtled toward them, seemingly impossible to avoid. Kale's mind raced. "I can use the ship's magnetic repulsors," he said. "It's risky, but it might push it away." Alina quickly calculated the angle and confirmed the plan. Kale activated the repulsors at the precise moment. The asteroid veered slightly, missing the ship by inches. Both of them exhaled in relief, heart still racing. As the storm passed, Alina looked at Kale with admiration. "I can't believe it. You did it. You saved us." Kale shook his head. "We did it together. That's the key. Humans survive by working together, learning, and never giving up. That's what makes us strong." By the time they returned to Virelia, the sun was dipping below the horizon, casting long shadows across the crystal towers. The council had gathered, and the court was silent, waiting for the verdict. Kale and Alina stepped onto the observation platform, carrying the Luminara crystals as proof of their success. The council elder stood, his expression solemn. "Kale of Earth," he said, "you have completed the final trial with skill, courage, and wisdom. You have shown qualities that no alien noble has fully demonstrated. You have proven that humans are capable, strong, and deserving of respect." Whispers filled the hall. Some nobles struggled to hide their astonishment. Others nodded slowly, acknowledging the truth of the council's words. Princess Alina stepped forward, her voice steady and clear. "I have seen it with my own eyes. Kale has shown us what humans are capable of: bravery, intelligence, ingenuity, and heart. We are not weak. We are not ordinary. We are capable of greatness, and today that greatness has been proven." Kale looked at her, gratitude and warmth in his eyes. "Thank you, Princess," he said quietly. "We have done this together, and together we will continue to prove that humans belong among the stars." The council nodded in agreement. "Very well," the elder said. "Kyle of Earth, you are recognized as worthy. You have demonstrated the qualities that define nobility: courage, intelligence, integrity, and leadership. You are the first human to earn such recognition, and your actions will be remembered for generations." A ripple of awe passed through the court. Some nobles applauded, some bowed, and even those who had doubted humans could not hide their admiration. Kale had not only survived the most dangerous trial in the galaxy, but he had excelled, showing a combination of qualities that no alien noble could match fully. Alina's heart swelled with pride. For years, humans had been dismissed, ignored, and rejected by the galaxy's elite. Yet here, in the harshest test imaginable, one human had risen above doubt, fear, and danger to prove that humanity had value, strength, and honor. Master Rylan approached, a rare smile on his face. "Princess, you have witnessed history," he said. "Humans have proven themselves. The galaxy will no longer see us as weak or ordinary." Alina nodded, feeling a sense of hope and determination she had never felt before. "This is only the beginning," she said softly. "If one human can achieve this, think what our species can accomplish in the future." Kyle placed the crystals carefully in the chamber, his expression calm, but proud. "It is not about proving ourselves once," he said. "It is about showing the galaxy that humans can rise to any challenge, adapt, and succeed." "Today is the first step," the council elder spoke again. "Let it be known throughout Virelia and all allied worlds. A human has triumphed where many believed it impossible. Kale of Earth stands as a symbol of courage, intelligence, and the enduring spirit of humanity. Let all who doubt this species take heed." The court erupted in applause. Even nobles who had once dismissed humans could not ignore the truth. A new chapter had begun, not only for Kale and Princess Alina, but for all of humanity. As night fell over the crystal towers of Virelia, the stars seemed to shine brighter, reflecting the triumph of a human who had dared to step forward when all others had turned away. Alina and Kale stood together, Knowing that the trials had proven more than skill, they had proven hope, courage, and the true worth of humanity among the stars. And for the first time, Princess Alina believed that the galaxy could see humans not as outsiders, but as equals, capable, strong, and ready to take their place in the vast tapestry of worlds. The Hall of Light was still buzzing softly with whispers. Aliens moved in cautious circles, exchanging worried glances. They had never seen a human succeed in completing the first challenge without hesitation. Captain Rin, standing near the princess's dais, held his head high. The amber eyes of Princess Leora followed him closely, a faint smile playing on her lips. She had expected many things from visitors, but none had ever displayed the combination of calm, courage, and cleverness that this human showed. "You have passed the first challenge, Captain," Leora said, her voice echoing gently across the hall. "But the path ahead is far more complex. You will face the test of courage. This is no simple puzzle of observation. You must demonstrate wit, bravery, and integrity. Only then will you be considered a true envoy." Rin nodded, folding his hands behind his back. "I understand, Princess. I am ready." The air in the hall shifted as the central platform glowed brighter. Soft beams of light curved and twisted into a maze across the polished floor. Symbols floated above the floor, appearing and disappearing in unpredictable sequences. This was the test of courage, one that adapted to each visitor's mind, intentions, and instincts. It had never been solved by an alien in the presence of the princess. Many had tried and many had failed, leaving with their pride broken. Rin stepped forward, careful not to disturb the flow of energy. Unlike many aliens who rushed with strength or strategy, he moved slowly, studying the maze. He noticed subtle patterns, a rhythm in the way the lights shifted, tiny clues in the symbols, and the faint hum of energy that indicated the safest path. A group of alien envoys gathered near the edges of the hall, whispering. "Humans are reckless," said one, a blue-skinned being with 6 eyes. "He will fail and make a fool of himself." Another, a tall, insect-like diplomat, shook its head. "He is clever, but cleverness alone will not save him. The test is alive. It reacts to thoughts and fears. He may be brave, but he cannot control what the maze decides." Rin ignored the murmurs. Humans had a way of focusing that was unique. They could act without letting fear cloud their decisions. He stepped carefully into the maze, feeling the energy shift beneath his feet. The floor seemed to respond to his confidence. Where many would have panicked, Rin observed. Where many would have hesitated, he chose a path guided by reason and calm intuition. The first challenge appeared quickly. A wall of translucent light rose in front of him, blocking the path forward. It was strong but not impenetrable. Symbols flashed across its surface, forming a sequence that had to be followed exactly. Rin crouched, studying them. His mind worked differently than most aliens. He noticed subtle differences in the way the light pulsed and realized that the sequence was not fixed. It responded to logic rather than brute force. He moved his hands carefully, pressing the symbols in order. The wall shimmered and then vanished. The aliens gasped. Few could solve the first barrier, even with advanced alien technology. Princess Leora's smile widened slightly. "Impressive," she whispered under her breath. "It seems humans truly see the world differently." The maze continued, shifting around him, presenting new challenges. Some symbols required problem-solving, while others tested timing and reflexes. At one point, the floor beneath him split into floating panels, some stable, some weak. Rin did not hesitate. He watched the subtle vibrations of the panels and chose his steps carefully, one by one, trusting his judgment. One wrong move and he could have fallen, but his focus never wavered. A sudden trap emerged. A wall of energy surged toward him from the left side. Instinctively, he jumped aside, barely avoiding it. Aliens gasped in shock. Some whispered that human speed and reflexes were unusual, almost unnatural. Others muttered, fearing that if he survived all the traps, it might prove that humans were too bold to be controlled. As Rin moved deeper into the maze, the final challenge appeared. A pedestal rose from the floor, glowing with an intense light. On it rested a small, transparent sphere. Inside the sphere, a symbol of a star flickered. The task was simple in theory. Retrieve the sphere without triggering the traps that surrounded it. But the traps were invisible, designed to detect hesitation, greed, or fear. Many aliens would have tried to snatch the sphere quickly, but Rin paused. he observed carefully. He noticed faint lines in the energy patterns, suggesting a path that would lead him safely. Slowly, deliberately, he moved forward step by step. His focus was unbroken. He reached the pedestal, picked up the sphere, and held it carefully. The hall fell completely silent. Every eye was on him. Even those who had doubted him were forced to step back, realizing that no human had ever completed this portion of the test of courage in front of the princess. Princess Leora leaned forward, her amber eyes gleaming with admiration. "Captain Rin," she said softly, "you have done what no alien has dared to do. You have completed the test of courage not through strength alone, but through intelligence, observation, and bravery. Tell me, what guides you through challenges such as these?" Rin looked at her calmly. "We humans value thought as much as action, Princess. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is acting in spite of fear with respect and honesty. That is what guides me." The whispers among the aliens grew louder. Some were impressed. Some were uneasy. Many had never seen anyone face the hall with such calm and clarity. Humans had a way of moving that seemed unpredictable, yet precise, a combination of fearlessness and adaptability that the aliens could not fully understand. "You are remarkable, Captain Rin," Leora said. "But the test is not complete. Many dangers in this hall are not physical, they are political. Some envoys do not wish peace. They may attempt to manipulate, deceive, or even harm. The next challenge will show whether your courage and wisdom extend beyond the maze." Rin nodded, understanding the weight of her words. This was more than a test of agility or intelligence. It was a test of character, integrity, and the ability to act wisely in the midst of uncertainty. Suddenly, a soft murmur ran through the hall. From the corners, a group of alien nobles cloaked in elegant robes began to whisper among themselves. Their expressions were hard, their movements calculated. Some had already plotted ways to embarrass the princess or undermine her authority. They saw Rin as a convenient distraction, someone to test and, if possible, remove from the gathering. Rin noticed them. He observed the subtle shifts in their postures, the almost imperceptible changes in the energy field around them. He understood the silent language of strategy, learned from observing countless situations where quick thinking and perception could save lives. A small device appeared, almost invisible, placed near one of the glowing pillars that lined the hall. It was a trap designed to confuse or harm intruders. Humans were known for noticing details that others missed, and Rin's sharp eyes caught it immediately. Without hesitation, he approached the device carefully. Using his knowledge of basic mechanics and observation, he disarmed it quietly, ensuring no one noticed his interference. The conspirators, realizing their plan had failed, froze in shock. Several aliens gasped audibly, their fear mingled with awe. Humans, it seemed, were not just brave. They could act under pressure, think creatively, and prevent disaster when others might fail. Princess Leora's eyes widened slightly. "Interesting," she whispered. "He does not rely solely on skill or luck. He thinks, he observes, and he acts with both caution and confidence. Perhaps humans are more than I imagined." The hall returned to a tense calm, but a new energy had entered the room. Where there had been fear and hesitation before, there was now curiosity and fascination. Aliens who had doubted humans began to consider what their presence might mean for the galaxy. Captain Rin returned to the dais, placing the sphere carefully on a small pedestal before the princess. "The test is complete, Princess Leora," he said simply. "I have done what I can to show respect, courage, and honesty. The rest is up to you." Leora smiled, her expression thoughtful. "You have passed, Captain, in more ways than one. But the true measure of a visitor is not just in tests or puzzles. It is in their heart and their willingness to face what lies ahead. I believe you may be exactly what is needed in these uncertain times." For the first time in cycles, the hall that had once echoed with whispers of fear now vibrated with a quiet sense of possibility. Humans had entered not to dominate or intimidate, but to prove that courage, intelligence, and integrity could change the way the galaxy saw them. And in that moment, Princess Leora realized something important. Perhaps the unpredictability of humans, their bravery, and their willingness to act in ways no alien could, might be the key to uniting worlds that had never known trust before. Captain Rin had not only completed the test of courage, He had shown through his actions that humans were a force to be reckoned with, not through fear but through brilliance, morality, and courage.